On the 26th, I, along with Kent, our church family, will be coming off a 21-day Daniel's fast. And I'm a type of person that believes in that time, not only are you sacrificing what you're eating, but you should also be taking that time to hear from God.
You drink your water.
That honestly believes that in that time too, we should definitely be taking that time.
The top is stuck. I'm like, man, it's the hardest top.
We should also be taking that time to meditate and hear what God has to say. And so, do I feel like in my time of my 21 days did I like heavily do that? No, but I still got a word. You're gonna have to fix. One morning, I felt like I heard this: "Be, but not of this world." So from that, I thought to myself that we have to understand that the sacrifice of what the sacrifice of what God did, letting his only begotten son die for us, is for us to understand.
This is a Daniel fast, okay? It's not a traditional fast where you fast entirely from eating. It's more of a limited diet fast. So we're limited on the items that we eat. We're fruits and vegetables. Just for we're not partaking in any sweets, any fried foods, anything like that. So we're actually just doing like a restricted diet, and you're doing that in honor to God, in order to honor God.
Yes.
And so while you're doing that in this restricted diet, and your flesh is telling you, hey, I want these things that you normally crave, eating out, fast food, all those things that you would normally crave, you're saying, no, I'm restricting myself, and in hopes that my flesh will be reduced, my spirit will be increased, and I will have a better relationship with God. Not only will I pray more intentionally, I will also stop and listen and hear from God, right? So that's what you plan to do during this fast. So it's a 21-day fast. We're on our last 3 days left. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we got 3 days left, and from that you heard a word, and so we just want to talk about the word that you heard and how it reflects on both of us and what I feel and how you feel. So quickly, You heard the words, and it says,
"Be in this world, but not of this world."
Okay.
And to me, I took that as God is saying that be in this world, not of this world. Be in this world, okay? Be in this world. Okay, that you the minute you're born, the minute you're introduced to sin and anything, you're going to be in this world, but you're not of this world. And from that, what I take out of that is that he's saying that once you give your life over to him and you become more and more like Christ, automatically the world is going to have hate towards you, because you're not of the world anymore. Your mind has been renewed. Your mind has been rewired to think and act like Christ. So automatically you've been given, I guess, in a sense, the scarlet letter. You're going to stand out. You're going to be distinguished from the rest of the crowd. And so he wants us to still have mercy and grace upon people, though, always continuing to be the salt, always continuing to be the light, and understanding that we're all here on a mission for this short time until he returns, whenever that day comes. And so that's just what I took from it, that he just wants us to be aware that we can't act the way that the world does when they make decisions about how the government is going to run, or when we make decisions in our life, or life makes decisions for you. Whatever happens, you got to stand on what God says about what's the right thing to do, and not to be worried about anything, and not to be fearful about anything, because even he has, the world is not, what is it saying about him overcoming the world? What is the scripture there?
Oh yeah, he said, in this world you'll have trouble, but fear not, because I have overcome the world. And that was Jesus basically saying that he's overcome everything this world can give you. Mm-hmm. This world can give you stress from your day to day, and ultimately take your life, your physical, your life on this earth, your fleshly life, but it won't take your soul.
Right.
That way, the part of being Christian is being able to overcome death too. And you will ultimately make it to heaven like Jesus. Jesus overcame everything. People can't, if you're not a Christian, you can't really overcome death because you're still going to go into hell. You failed. You know, but the life that God gives you is the opportunity to overcome this life and become who he wants you to be in heaven and live with him in heaven forever. So you've overcome the world. You know, he's overcome it all. He's overcome all the adversity, the hate, everything that you see Jesus went through. He's overcame it already. And you think of how much somebody hates you, and you really see how minuscule it is compared to how much they hated Jesus. Like, they wanted him to die and he committed no crimes, right? So anytime you think of that, you should always draw reference to that and say that, you know, what I'm going through is tough, but Jesus overcame it all. And so that's a good thought. I like that. I like what you were saying about being in this world, but not of this world. That's what the Bible verse says. So it just tells you that your treasure is in heaven. He said, the Bible says, where your heart is, that's where your treasure lies. So if your heart is on God, beyond this world, you'll be able to overcome the things of this world and see how minuscule it is compared to the overall picture of where he wants you to be. I hope it's making sense, but I just, we just have to see that all these things that happen on this earth are just things that are happening on this earth, and nothing's new under the sun.
That's right.
There's been all kind of things that's happened in this world, and you look back on the history and you see I can't believe that people's been through that. But you know, it's nothing new that we're facing. You know, we're actually living a lot better than a lot of people in the past. So I would stand on that and say that. Any other words?
Do you have anything from the 21-day fast you want to share?
Yeah. The 21-day
Any
fast.
scriptures that came to your mind or things that God laid on your heart?
Yeah. The 21-day fast is good because it helps you restrict, and then it puts you back on a journey of being intentional. So that intentional journey that you want to be on. So I started it off and I said, you know what? I know I'm doing it. I'm going to do it with all my heart, and I'm going to make sure that it's worth it. I don't just end up in 21 days, you know, and not really have gained anything from it. So First of all, you really set your goals on day one of what this is going to be, and then you stick to it. I can't eat this, I can't eat that, and that's the basis right there. And then, but in my prayer life, in my spiritual life, I'm going to be intentional about praying. Where I wasn't, where I've been slipping, now is the time to get things set up straight and do it. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna pray about this set amount of things that I already put on my list, you know. And one thing that I did, you asked me about a verse that I got, and it's Jeremiah 33:3. During this fast, it says, "Call on me, and I will answer you, and I will show you things that you did not know." And a lot of times,
that's good.
Yeah, it's really easy to remember, short, but it's powerful in its message. And a lot of times we think we know it all, you know, and we don't even pray about certain things because we either think God's not going to handle it, or God just doesn't have anything to do with God. But he's saying, like, call on me, test me, try me. And then a lot of times we want God to come down, boom, clouds up, skies open, and God says, here's what I want you to, you know. Sometimes it just comes down to us needing to relax and listen. That's a part of the fasting. It's to listen, because we're so busy with our lives that we want God to come in and hear us and say something to us. But we can't be that busy. We have to really look back. And when you start to look back and reflect, you start to see, okay, if I hadn't done this, this would have never happened, and that would have never happened. And then you start to see God's fingerprint on it. And when I say God's fingerprint, I mean it's a reflection that only God could have made that happen, because odds are that couldn't have happened without God, right? So that's when I say it's only in that time of reflection that you realize God was in the mix the whole time. He's been working on you the whole time. And so it's only through the time of reflection that you will see. But it builds your faith and it makes you realize that, hey, I should call on him because he says in his word that he will answer and he will show me things that I did not know.
That's good. That's good. So we're sure some of you have been on a spiritual journey of this sort. You know, this is just our experience, you know, no wrong or not or right way. So we just encourage you to just, you know, continue on your journey, continue on your whatever it is that you need to do to get closer to God. And this is DGal Family. Create our YouTube channel, like and follow, and subscribe for more content from us. And
Until next time.
Until next time, and we hope you enjoy.